India being a cricket crazy nation, now the good news has come that the Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 has begun from 5th of October, and India being the host country would be contending for it. But this is something which is like for very good for people who will be seeing it, but there are certain issues also which arrives with it, especially when it comes to the broadcasting aspect. So broadcasting aspect, the copyright issues, the patent issues. So we will be looking today into it. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's episode we will be looking into what is dynamic injunction that is recently been in news against illegal ICC World Cup broadcast. So what is dynamic injunction? And second, if someone is trying to do illegal broadcast of something whose copyright has been given to someone else, then what can be done in a country like India? So first of all, about the timeline. First we'll be looking at the news, then dynamic injunction, then other cases of injunctions that has happened in India, section 37 of the Copyright Act, and in the end prelims MCQ. This topic is of importance from General Studies paper 3. This is economy, copyright issue and intellectual property rights issue also, and from General Studies paper 2 also you can say, that is government policies and interventions. So the news talks about the Delhi High Court passes dynamic injunction against illegal ICC World Cup broadcast. What this means, what was the case? So now we all know that whenever there is a big tournament taking place, so the broadcasting rights are given to one particular organization, and that one particular organization has the copyright or has the right to show the whole function or whole cricket match in case of the Cricket World Cup. No other entity or no other organization can show the matches except the organization which has got the broadcasting rights. But because of the social media, many a times we see that what is happening is there is an infringement of copyright issue, that there are other sites also which are at the same time, even though they are not the official broadcaster of the function or of the World Cup, but still they will be running the live telecast of the matches on their platforms, and which is not legal because they do not have the broadcasting rights. Broadcasting rights is given to someone else. So if an organization or a website is showing the live matches of cricket or any other sport without being the official broadcaster, what are the issues, what can be done in that case, and what has Delhi High Court said in this case? So let's see. So the Delhi High Court has restrained 9 websites from illegally broadcasting the ICC Men's World Cup 2023 matches. So the Delhi High Court has restrained 9 websites. So they have said and have stopped these 9 websites from showing the live telecast of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup because they are not the official broadcaster of the event. And with regard to this, the Delhi High Court has passed a dynamic injunction in favor of the Cup's broadcaster. So, and the official broadcaster for the World Cup is the Star India Private Limited. Now, what is dynamic injunction? Dynamic, as we know, is something which keeps on changing. An injunction means that a law or a court which has given an order to do or not to do something. So this is what is the meaning of dynamic injunction. So the rogue websites indulged in piracy of copyrighted content are likely to continue communicating copyrighted works. And what this does is that even though the official broadcaster is different, but there are few websites or rogue websites which try to dent the image of the official broadcast, and this leads to a lot of monetary loss to the official broadcaster, because on one hand the official broadcaster is broadcasting the rights, and official broadcaster is called someone who has officially and legally taken the rights from the organization to showcase the event themselves. But rogue websites are the website who has not legally taken the rights to be the official broadcaster, but still taking advantage of the situation and of the social media, what they do is they still run the live telecast, and this, by running them the live telecast, the official broadcaster or the official broadcaster, the organization who's the official broadcaster of the event, they suffer a huge monetary loss, then leading to a severe dent in the revenues of the Star India. So broadcast reproduction rights, which are contemplated under section 37 of the 1957 Copyright Act. So the Copyright Act and the section 37 of the 1957 Copyright Act comes into the picture. Now what is dynamic injunction? So dynamic means something which keeps on going up and down, and injunction is an official order given by a law court, usually to stop someone from doing something. It means that the Delhi High Court, while giving the dynamic injunction, is asking the rogue websites that you need to stop doing what you are doing because that is illegal. Someone else has officially and legally has taken the broadcasting rights of an event. So if that organization has taken the official and broadcasting rights of the event, the rogue website should not do it, and the Delhi High Court is stopping or has restrained the websites from doing so. Such injunctions are granted by the court only after the court identifies the work and determines the plaintiff's copyright in that work. So now here what has happened is that the Star India, who is the official broadcaster for the Men's Cricket World Cup 2023, has went to the court so that they do not suffer a huge loss in monetary terms or huge revenue loss. So in this case, they went to the High Court and they have asked for a step to be taken into this direction, and the Delhi High Court has reverted back with dynamic injunction. Passed to protect copyrighted works. So dynamic injunction is usually passed to protect the copyrighted works even before they are publicly released, distributed or created. Now in this case also the same has happened, that before the 2023 Cricket World Cup began, that is 5th of October, dynamic injunction has been issued, because if the event would have started and dynamic injunction would have come after the event, then that would have already led to a huge loss of revenue for the official broadcaster. So in this case, dynamic injunction had to come in starting of the event, so that the loss of revenue should not be done to the official broadcaster, because official broadcaster, while taking the rights, by taking the legal rights to showcase the event, also gives a huge amount of pay for it. Then it ensures that no irreparable loss is caused to its authors and owners, that is revenue loss. And not the first time that the Delhi High Court has passed a dynamic injunction. It means before this also dynamic injunction has been issued by the Delhi High Court. Then the court observed that given the nature of the illegalities that rogue website indulge in, they need to pass injunction which are dynamic in nature, because given the social media at this point of time, the rogue websites will keep on doing something or the other. And so for this, the injunction that needs to be given has to be very dynamic in nature, so that this can deal with the rogue websites. Now other cases of injunctions which has been seen till now. Then there is Delhi High Court's August 9 ruling in the case of Universal City Studios LLC versus .movies.baby 2023. So in this also dynamic injunction was passed, and it protected works generated during the case pendency and even those which might be created in the future from infringement. So when the case was pending in the court, it gave and it protected the work which was generated during the pendency of the case. Then till the time court comes to the rescue of the right holder. And then there is one more case, that is Delhi High Court in its 2019 ruling has also passed a dynamic injunction, and it was UTV versus 1337X 19.2, and they introduced the concept of dynamic injunction for the very first time in this case. Now let's talk about section 37 of the Copyright Act. And Copyright Act comes under the intellectual property, and copyright is to protect a new and a legal and a real work. It can be in the form of music, movies, literature, or any other field. So to protect the original writer or the owner, copyright is issued to the person. So it deals with, that is section 37 deals with special right extended to every broadcasting organization. So section 37 of the Copyright Act 1957 deals with the special right every broadcasting organization has. And then section 37 clause 2 proceeds to enlist what constitutes an infringement of this right. Now what does the infringement means? That if the whatever has been given under section 37 of the Copyright Act, that if a person does something, then only it will be considered that the person is breaching the section. So it has many things inside it listed that can be considered infringement of this right. Now I will be telling you all the facts here, because infringement, what does, if one person does all these things, then only it will be considered an infringement. So that is, it during the continuance of a broadcast reproduction right, if any person without the license of the rights owner engages in rebroadcasting the broadcast, it means that if the original broadcast is going on and the other person is rebroadcasting it, then it will be considered an infringement. Or causes the broadcast to be heard or seen by the public on the payment of charges, that will also be considered an infringement. Makes any sound or visual recording, makes any reproduction of such sound or visual recording where the initial recording was done without license for any purpose not envisaged by the license, then, or sells or hires to the public or offers for such sale or hire any such sound recording or visual recording, will be deemed to have infringed this right, and which is subject to the provisions of section 39 of the Copyright Act. So these are few of the things, that if a person is making any kind of sound or visual recording, then sound recording or visual recording, sale or hire, then rebroadcasting, heard or seen, if any person is doing things, then it will be considered as infringement. And section 39, it provides exception. Section 39 talks about and provides exception when the reproduction of such content can be considered as fair dealing and not copyright infringement. So it talks about the instances when it won't be considered an infringement and it will be considered a fair dealing. So this was about dynamic. Okay, let's talk. Okay, this was about dynamic injunction. We heard the topic, that why is it in news, then what is dynamic injunction, then cases of injunction, section 39, and in the end a prelims MCQ. This is a PYQ of the year 2017, and this will help you to understand that how the UPSC is framing question. With reference to the National Intellectual Property Rights Policy, consider the following statements. It reiterates India's commitment to the Doha Development Agenda and the TRIPS Agreement. Second, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion is the nodal agency for regulating intellectual property rights in India. So these are the two statements. You have to talk about the correct statement. Codes are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So this is the type of questions which the UPSC is asking, and while you will solve these questions, you will be able to understand that how the statements can be formed from the Copyright Act also, or from dynamic injunctions also. So give me the answer in the comment section, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.